Now, this is the response we're getting tonight, and it's really exposing some people. Owen Shroyer, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Tucker, and Megan need to do a panel response to Trump's post ASAP. No attacks, policy and results. It'll get 100 million views and force the administration to admit defeat on policy and results or generate results we voted for. This is so stupid. This guy, these people are so out of touch. They're so incredibly out of touch, okay? Alex, Candace, Tucker, Megan, they don't have anywhere near that power anymore. Not even close. Okay, and if they all came together, it might get 100 million views over 3 or 4 months, and it's going to be people who are curious. It's going to be other countries. It'll be bot views. There'll be some legitimate views out of curiosity. It won't move the needle an inch because these people have no power. If they had power, Trump, his popularity wouldn't be going back up as it has been the last 2 weeks. The Republicans wouldn't be closing the gap on the Democrats as they have been the last couple of weeks. Trump played these people. And they exposed themselves, and now they're all scrambling, trying to find an edge to hang on to. Just, please, we're going to drown here. But they also, people like Owen here, they believe they're still important because they still get views. But I'll tell you, Candace has already been exposed. We saw, and I showed you guys on the show, when Candace, the bot army jumped on her page and started, it was the wrong bot army. Her paid bot started asking for Hassan Piker. That was hilarious. She got the wrong bots, but it showed you that it's bot armies blowing up her feeds. Her views had been going down until she did the Erica Kirk series, and now they've been going down again since then. Candace hasn't moved the needle a whit. Tucker, the same thing. In fact, I have some really funny stuff on Tucker I'm going to show in a minute to just absolutely prove it. But they're crashing out hard and all trying to promote themselves as if they matter. And Owen matters one of the least of them all. That's why he doesn't get a call out. This guy doesn't matter. It's kind of ridiculous to me that people still follow this guy. He's an absolute joke. And the only thing he ever has is they went to jail for January 6th. Now we have Viva Frey, best friends with Robert Barnes and Rich Barris, the total crashed out Bannonites who try to tell us that they know exactly what's going to happen with the elections coming up and that if Trump doesn't listen to them, they'll lose. No, except we know Barnes is an Act Blue donator 4 years ago. Well, 2020. So 5-6 years ago, we've caught him. We've seen where his money goes. The guy's a total fraud. And Rich Barris, he's nothing without Steve Bannon. Well, what do we know about Steve Bannon now? The Epstein files told us a whole lot about Steve Bannon and all his crew. And then we all started looking into Bannon a little more than we ever had before and started finding out a lot of shady stuff from his past. Viva is a big part of that. Viva's been trying to stay out of it, but tonight, he really showed his true colors. I know Alex, I won't disavow him. I know Megan, I won't disavow her. I don't know Tucker, but I won't disavow him, even if I disagree with him. I don't know Candace, but I won't disavow her, even if I disagree with her. And even if Barnes Law were to disavow her. Ha ha ha. You see how that works among adults with half a brain? If you look at Trump's last truth posting as the type of post that actually wins elections. You guys hear this stuff? This is what Viva, Barnes, and Barris only talk about, winning the midterms. And listen, I would love to win the midterms. I like winning elections, but the presidential election mattered much more. But yeah, I'd love to win the House, keep the House, of course. It'll help. But as I've told you guys before and outlined, it's not the end of the world if we lose the House. It's a blip. And it won't be nearly as bad as people project it to be. Because we'll still have the Senate and we'll still have the presidency. And there's only so much you can do when you just have one House of Congress. regardless, it's nice to win. But here's the problem. And this is the problem, because I used to be a big Rich Barris fan, because to his credit, he was right. He called the 24 election pretty accurately. But he was on our side then. And now he's wielding his power for evil. And this is how I started noticing. Because everything Trump did, right or wrong, became about the elections. And that's all Rich Barris cared about. And I got to tell you something, folks. The only thing that really matters when you elect a leader who's got to do real change is that they do it. And sometimes that change is going to be very unpopular. And you know who got this more than anybody else? God rest his soul. Two men. Scott Adams, who understood Trump better than anybody, especially psychologically, who said in one of his great last posts last November that he expected Trump to do things that would make him extremely unpopular, but by the time he left and by the time he was gone, he would be looked back as one of the most popular presidents ever because of what he accomplished. That's true leadership. Take the hit now for reward later. That's true leadership. Scott Adams saw it. And the other man who saw it was Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, who held this thing together, who kept all the grifters out, because Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, Alex Jones, none of them held a candle to Charlie. Because if they said anything stupid, Charlie would put them in their place, and he would do it with class, and he did it in a way that commanded attention. And Charlie, even if he disagreed with the president, he was loyal. And he always brought it back to, I trust President Trump. Always, even in Iran. And that's the part people don't talk about. They like to clip him and say, oh, Charlie was against Iran. Yeah, but he came back and said, but I trust the president. Always. And that's what a good soldier does, because we fought to get President Trump elected against all odds twice. We watched him fight as he took a bullet for us, as he took case after case after case, illegal lawfare over and over again, trying to put him away for life, trying to rob him blind of all of his money. We watched it, and we watched him keep coming back for more, taking the hits and winning in one of the most inspirational runs any human's ever done, especially in America. Unbelievable. And we're supposed to crap out on him after all of that just because sometimes we don't understand what he's doing. I can tell you, it's actually not that hard to understand when you understand the big picture and when you really know the mission. But also, the wins have been unbelievable in 15 months. Charlie and Scott got that. And all these people who said they were friends of Charlie's especially, and Scott, they're all just totally crapping on their graves. And it's disgusting. Scott Adams and Charlie Kirk were great men. These people are pathetic losers. Every single freaking one of them. I cannot stand them. They are the worst kind of people. And the fact that it's so difficult for them to see, they were waiting, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like Candace and all this stuff, she's commissioned to distract on Charlie's death just so you don't look at her and you don't look at these guys. But these are the real frauds, folks. And Viva is one of them, but he's also not important enough to be talked about. Another one of them who didn't get mentioned, but it's just really shown his true colors this week, Shawn Ryan, who posts earlier today. So far this week, Trump threatened to wipe out a civilization on Tuesday. That's the fakest news of all. Even though Trump tweeted it, it's so clear as day he didn't mean it, but whatever. Announced a ceasefire. Israel leveled parts of Beirut on Thursday. Iran shut the Gate of Hormuz again. Lie. That's absolutely fake news spread by the media. I'm sure a few of you got duped because it's everywhere. It's just not true. It's just not true. They've threatened it, but it hasn't happened. Gulf states intercepting drones. That's true, but that's just the insanity of Iran. 13 American members are dead. 34 Iranians killed. 1,500 dead in Lebanon. What he doesn't tell you is that's all Hezbollah. 90 to 99% of that is Hezbollah terrorists. That's what he should really say. But these people are frauds. This administration has the nerve to call us a win, because it is, because we've won in so many more ways, and that these people are just lying about. But let's look at this great post calling it out. Shawn Ryan, I know my comparing you to Rachel Maddow seems like a joke, but I can assure you it's not. As a former SEAL, sat in briefing rooms and theater, run ops against jihadist networks, and built a platform interviewing many sharp people, you of all people should understand how this works. Despite all that, you're sitting here and pushing posts like a cable news commentator. Let's cut through the selective timeline you laid out. Trump issued a brutal, unmistakable warning over the Strait of Hormuz. That wasn't a bluster. It was quite literally combatant messaging. Absolutely true. Jihadist Islamists like RJC, Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthis, and their ilk don't negotiate in good faith or respond to polite diplomacy. 100% true. Anyways, he just goes on to destroy them. Iran quickly closed the strait back up because they're purveyors of Taqiyya-style negotiations, just like jihadists, but they didn't really close it. Everybody's being dishonest. They didn't close anything. See, I mean, this is, everybody knows this. But again, Shawn Ryan. Who is it, Shawn Ryan? Special ops in the CIA. Tucker Carlson's dad, CIA. Alex Jones' dad, CIA. I mean, come on. Do the math. CIA for years and years and years, controlled by MI6. MI6 run by City of London, funded and run by City of London, who actually runs England along with the Crown. UK, EU, you name it, the cabal, the Rothschilds, they're part of it, the Rockefellers, you name it, it's all them. It's all City of London, and it all goes back to them, and these are their people. They love throwing special ops out there to do their podcasts because it immediately gives them credibility. But Shawn Ryan, total fraud. Let's keep going. Here is Alex Jones. This guy has become such a joke. And I say that as somebody who used to be a fan of Alex Jones. I'm not going to lie about that. I did. I used to enjoy him. I used to find him entertaining, and he was right about some stuff. But you know why they allow them to be right about some stuff, folks? They allow them to be right about some stuff in order to gain trust. And by gaining some trust, then they can psyop us. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute here. But Alex, at this point, we're seeing what he's really all about. And here's his response.
See the report, but I'm just wondering if Trump's been held hostage or something. So listen, I'm not mad about this. He's mad that he's wrong. And he's mad he got set up by Israel. And he once a man, twice a child. This is dementia.
What are you even saying?
And so, you know, it doesn't matter. We're going to keep intervening. He knows he was wrong about Iran. He's throwing a fit. And it's okay. We're going to continue to be adults and just
You hear how he's mumbling? This guy is drunk out of his mind.
Trump's been held hostage or something.
Watch him stumble in.
The report, but I'm just wondering if Trump's been held hostage or something. So listen, I'm not mad about this. He's mad that he's wrong. And he's mad he got set up by Israel. And he once a man, twice a child. This is dementia.
Trying not to laugh.
And so, you know.
Honestly, I'm not watching me. You'll never watch me. It helped. You need to go check yourself into rehab and kick the drinking. It's killing you. You're what, 52-year-old man, 54-year-old man. You're only 10 years older than I am. And you look awful, brother. Go get help. Go get help. I mean that. Refresh and it works out. Okay. Alex, I made it very clear. I no longer support President Trump, and I'm very thankful to him for making it clear I have nothing to do with him. The new Trump is a rotting husk of an old Trump. I hope 47 enjoys Mark Levine being a spirit animal. Now, I gotta tell you, guys, Alex doing this is one of the stupidest things he could possibly do for his career. It's one thing to get called out by Trump. It's another thing to flat out say, I am breaking with Trump. I guarantee you he just lost a huge portion of his viewers. And this is going to get very interesting going forward. But these people, they're digging in. And why are they digging in? Because they can't, they're so far out there now. They can't come back. If they come back at this point, nobody will take them. So now they have to find another lane to maintain influence. And so they're all doubling down on that. Alex went on tonight and added this right here. Emergency message to the White House. The president is under the greatest witchcraft attack anybody's ever seen. Every Christian in the White House, call for a fast. J.D. Vance, Susie Wiles, Carolyn Levin, or anyone else close to the United States throne of power must lead the nation fasting to break President Trump free from Satan's chains. Oh, my God. I mean, this one offends me as a Christian who's done deliverance ministry for 10 years. I got to tell you that that's not how it works. I just got to tell you right now. Satan can't just walk in and get a hold of you. You gotta give him access through some either crazy sin or some horrible belief system you have. And that's how the devil gets in. It's not just like one day you wake up and the devil's got a hold of you. So he doesn't have that kind of power over anybody who's got a Christian, especially not in the kind of prayer President Trump's covered in by the millions and millions of Christians who pray for him every night, including us. So anyways, just absolutely insane stuff to say. But Brian Cates calls him out really well right here. He says he's not, because MTG Q warned Anons over 9 years ago not to trust this guy, which is absolutely true, by the way. And here's all the posts. I'm not going to pull them all tonight. I got my own stuff to show you guys. But if you're interested, go to Brian Cates on X and you can read all the Q posts from back in the day that absolutely called out Alex Jones. Now, we have Cernovich. Oh, Cernovich, who was trying to get back in the other day. And what happened with old Cerno when he tried to get in? Well, he's already turned back. He's calling out. He's protecting Alex right now. Alex Jones, I got to do Cernovich's little gay voice. Alex Jones is Trump's biggest supporter. By far, back when InfoWars was bigger than all of cable and network news combined. This was in 2015 before the censorship crackdown, which Trump did not fight. Trump let everybody get canned and didn't do anything to fight, or get banned and didn't do anything to fight back. So Cernovich calling him out. And just again, but here's some receipts from Cerno over the years. I hope the Senate convicts Trump. F is pardonless. Whatever happens, I'll enjoy. Bill Belichick's rejecting the Medal of Freedom from Trump is consistent with my read on events, which continues to infuriate many of Trump's supporters. Wear an effing mask. This effing guy. War Economy says, this is my impersonation of Mike Cernovich. I'm so in the know. I talked to all the right people, and let me tell you something. Insert something to be proven wrong. Trump dunks on somebody he knows for being stupid. I don't understand why. Why would he do this? Cernovich, man, just keeps going back and forth. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's keep moving. Here's Tucker before purchasing his home in Qatar.
Tucker, aren't we the only country allowed to make preemptive strikes? Who the hell does Iran think it is?
That's it. Actually, I know you're sort of kidding, but I agree with that. I think we are the only country.
No, I'm not kidding at all.
Rather, we are. That's absolutely right. The only country with the moral authority sufficient to do that. The only country that doesn't seek hegemony in the world. I do think, I'm sure I'm the lone voice in saying this, I think Iran deserves to be annihilated. I think they're lunatics. I think they're evil. I do think we ought to assess what would happen to the price of energy were we to do that. I don't think that's a small factor. It could tank our economy.
How long have I been muted? That was weird. I'm not saying you can't change your views, but neocon Tucker back then, listen, it's very rare to go that far from where you are. Because even if you did, you would at least say, I understand it. Like for me, I have different views. And sometimes I express them here where I tell you guys, this is where I'm at now, but I understand where people were because I was there. That's what you do. But it's like you don't go full on like people are crazy just because you change your views all of a sudden. That's not how it works. That's not how intellectually honest people act. And so Tucker, again, just proven to be a fraud. Not only did he, once call out, like saying how much he hated Trump in a text message that we've all seen. So there's that. And then there's, Alex Dugan. This guy, I'm getting ready to do a members live exposing all of Alex Dugan because it's a deep rabbit hole. But this guy is pretty clear controlling a lot of these influencers, or at the very least coaching them. And they take a lot of their reads from him, which he is a Russian propagandist. And he claims to be close to Putin, but all those close to Putin say they've never heard of him. So I think he's an MI6 asset. meant to just cause chaos wherever he goes. But this guy writes, over the course of Epic Fury, Alexander Dugin published 60 posts about Tucker, 1.5 a day, making Carlson one of the most referenced figures in his entire feed. Who else did Dugin amplify? I dissected the data here. So quite a few people, including also Megyn Kelly. But that, we'll deep dive that another time. CNN now is telling Trump to listen to Alex Jones in case you missed a new alliance between liberal media and the Eurasian slop peddlers. New York Times writing stories framed like Bannon would frame them in case you're confused about what's going on. The CIA, Mockingbird Media, what they did is once Trump utterly destroyed them, they started going to the airwaves in other ways, the alternate media. Alex hung out there a long time. And I'll tell you my honest opinion about Alex. I don't know if Alex has always been bought off, but he definitely is now. And so what either happened is Alex was at one time legit and they got him. I don't know how. There's a few ways, maybe through his bankruptcy, maybe through some other stuff that's been alleged. I don't know. But there's no doubting where Alex is now. And there's no doubting where he's been for a few years because this was called out, I believe, as early as 2018 in the Q post. I just got to say, I'll give it credit where credit's due. But these people are now aligned fully with the old school media. And that, my friends, tells you all you need to know. Before Trump was almost assassinated, Candace Owens used to be like this, the God and Country t-shirt. Threw out all my son's Superman, Batman memorabilia, replacing it with bloodied Trump photos and figurines. Don't at me. How far they've fallen. I'm just reminding everybody because tonight is like the big victory lap. And with Trump calling him out with all the attention on it, it's a good thing to do is revisit and remember why he did it. 0 Hour post. What's coming for Candace Owens is not pretty. This will be added to the evidence. Also, her relentless bullying of Erica Kirk by her deceased husband. I'm looking forward to the trial of Candace. She's about to lose so much money she may file for bankruptcy. Alex Jones knows a bankruptcy lawyer, I hear. So, because Trump says he hopes she loses the lawsuit. Well, I got to say, Trump knows stuff. He knows more than anybody. He's the U.S. president. Of course he does. And if Trump is calling out her lawsuit with the Macrons, I got to tell you, I would not feel very confident if I was Candace Owens. Now, how does this all work and why are they coming out now? Well, one of the best books in a while is this Richard Poe book, How the British Invented Communism and Blamed It on the Jews. Fantastic book. You guys got to check it out if you can. It's not hard read. But British agents, long game, deep cover, English-speaking MI6 can stay under decades till activating. Decades. So when people are like, oh, but they've been good for so long. Well, they plan for this stuff. This is the greatest intelligence agencies in the world. These are deep state. This is who everybody's like, Mossad's the greatest in the world. Yeah, who trained them? MI6. City of London, who created Israel too, by the way. Israel tards are like, oh, Trump's controlled by Israel. No, Israel makes a lot of moves because of City of London. Israel's not the bad guy. City of London is. Israel gets controlled by City of London often. That's a whole nother story. Typical that the British blame the Jews. It's been going on for centuries, which is also 100% true. For those of us willing to do the research more than 20 years back, everybody who makes all these big Israel points, they only go back to like the 70s at the latest. Those who really do the research go back to the 70s. Everybody else just past 20 years. Well, Israel, the state, was created by City of London. Go look it up. UK, Balfour Declaration, all City of London. And then they've been used many times since then. And when they do stuff that doesn't make any sense, wonder why it doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's because it's not about them. Just a thought. But this is where all the assets come from. MI6 passed on down. MI6 trained CIA, MI6 trained Mossad. Praying Medic gives us a great insight into how all these psyops begin. They all begin with legitimate questions. Candace Owens investigating Charlie Kirk. Legitimate. How she did it? completely illegitimate. How she fraudulently made accusations, completely illegitimate. How she kept plugging in nonsense that kept getting debunked, completely illegitimate. Making up stuff all the time, that's all illegitimate. The questions started out legitimate. Alex Jones, the questions started out illegitimate. The questions establish credibility. Once the audience trusts the presenter, the discussion shifts and the real agendas are advanced. Or sometimes they advance before they're ready. And that's what happened with Iran, because once Iran got hit, all assets deployed time. And that tells you all you need to know. In this case, efforts to divide the base and let Democrats regain control. Why? Because MAGA took over the Republican Party. It used to be they could play the democracy game for, to give us make us think we were in control. Oh, here's a Bush passing it off to a Clinton. Here's a Clinton passing it off to a Bush. Here's a Bush passing it off to an Obama. We had all those years of deep state control, both sides. But then Trump came along and took over the Republican Party. And now all the people in the Republican Party that are still controlled, they're so weak, they don't much matter anymore except to slow things down. The Republican Party is not going to be able to be retaken for a very long time by City of London. We're too awake. We've taken over too much of it. The Democrats, on the other hand, are still fully in 100%, except for maybe Fetterman. And I'm not saying they're people, but definitely the people in charge. And so that's what they need to do. Get them back, because it's their only hope. The deep state allowed InfoWars uncontested, as Alex Jones, access to its audience for decades. That is absolutely true. Alex never faced any opposition until the Sandy Hook stuff. Within months of Q's first post, multiple 4chan boards were compromised. 8chan was nuked. You tell me who is running the PSYOP. Excellent point. Excellent point. Speaking of the old posts, here's an old Q post from 2019. Oops, my bad. Screwed that up. Some who once supported POTUS, sleepers, will turn. Puppets and puppet masters. Control of narrative, control of public opinion. Control of public opinion equals power. Everything's at stake. Old guard power structure being destroyed. Washington Civil War. Exposure of truth. Self-preservation, fighting for survival, information warfare. There it is, guys. All assets deployed. That's exactly what we just saw, isn't it? Pretty crazy. Whatever you think of Q, there's no doubt there were several things that were absolutely 100% right during that whole thing. And then finally, it's going to be fun trying to watch them jump on the bandwagon. Give it a little time. I don't think they'll make it this time. I think the train is too far off the station. So good luck. Good luck, grifters. We won't miss you. Candace, Tucker, Megan, Alex, Barnes, Barris, Bannon, you name it. It's too many to name. Ian Carroll, Nick Fuentes, on and on and on and on. I'm at the point where I've seen too much. I know too much. Now that now that Trump has called them all out, it's official. They're done. They're no good for us. And don't come crawling back. We have war to win. We have an information war to win. We have a real war to win. We have a kinetic war to win in Iran. And we have the war of all wars to win with City of London and the cabal, the deep state, once and for all obliterating them. And my friends, we're going to be on the winning side of that. And all these losers are going to crash out even more. Love it.